Hello, my dear collective. Welcome into today's reading. I'm so happy to have you here. Please get comfortable, grab your favorite beverage, and let's dive into the monthly reading today. And we are going to be doing something a little bit different than in previous months. We are going to start with bibliomancy, which is opening a book up to a random page and reading a random passage or a paragraph to receive a message. And if you have never read this book, The Creative Act by Rick Rubin, I would highly recommend it. It is pure gold, and I've read it a couple of times because it's just so beautifully written, so insightful, and so full of wisdom. So let's get into today's messages. What does the creative collective, need to know? What would you like to share with them? So my eye is being drawn to this sentence here. This practice of never assuming an experience you have is the whole story will support you in a life of open possibility and equanimity. When we obsessively focus on these events, they may appear catastrophic, but they're just a small aspect of a larger life. And the further you zoom back, the smaller each experience becomes. Zoom in and obsess, zoom out and observe. We get to choose. Wow. So this tells me that there are possibly some in the collective here who are very in the weeds of a situation right now. This could be in their personal life. This could be in your personal life. This could be in your professional life. But there's something about giving yourself space and stepping back from that situation, if only for a time, to observe maybe how you're feeling, maybe how you are reacting, how things are working or not, and whether or not your presence or your absence is helping and or hindering. This also feels like the word assumption is coming through. So there is an expectation that someone may have here about a certain situation needing to be something that it can't right now. So whether that is the way your business was and you want it to still be, or whether it's a creative practice that you have suddenly felt some shifts within, there's an assumption that it should always be the same, or I should always receive the same results, or have the same experience as I did before. However, I think things have changed, and there's a call for you to open up to the possibilities beyond what you've experienced, because maybe your experience in the moment is limited in the way that you are perceiving it or assuming it that it needs to be. So by opening up and allowing your experience, your feelings to expand in this space, to open up to what it could be, I feel there is growth that is available to you in that experience beyond the assumption. So it's not only about zooming out to observe, but it's about zooming out to see the bigger picture and to see the possibilities that you can't see in the details of the moment. So I'm going to bookmark that because we may come back to it, and I'm going to pull some tarot cards. I first want to start with oracle cards. let's see what the oracle cards have to say first, and then we will get into the tarot. Okay, so releasing and love are the two cards that came out. So this definitely feels like a moment of release, and possibly a moment of releasing what you once loved. This may even be a moment to release something, to step into something that you love even more. So again, it's this expansiveness that's happening, but in order to step into that expansiveness, into the possibilities, you may have to release or let go of what you are currently experiencing, or what the expectations are of yourself or of this moment, of your business, and open up to, I just feel bigger possibilities, because love is so much more than romantic. Love is passion. Love is fulfilling. Love is joy. And maybe you have felt restricted in some regard in past experiences, or even in the current experience or situation that you find yourself in. And there's a call to do something more here. You'll notice that the different landscapes, this landscape is very barren. So I feel that you may have reached some kind of peak, or you may have exhausted all of your options in this particular scenario, situation, experience. And now it's time to use this as the foundations for something new, to grow something new. This creates the fertile soil for which new things will grow. And there's transformation here. There is life. There is a network. There is symbiosis. Whereas here in this landscape, it's really challenging to see that, because the landscape is rough. It is difficult. It is dark. It is barren. It isn't conducive to creation. But this landscape that I feel you're stepping towards is bright, is colorful, is clear, is abundant. So let's look at some tarot cards now, maybe to get some guidance and advice, and or further information about the situation. And if this resonates, feel free to comment. And if you would like a personal reading on your specific situation, I am open to doing a personal reading for you. The link to book is in the description box. So first, let's take a look at what it is you might need to release here. What does the collective need to release? We have the devil. The devil in this depiction is fear. It's paranoia. It's constantly looking over your shoulder. It's anxiety. It's stress. It is potentially a pattern that you have attached yourself to that may make you feel safe and secure, or may make you feel like you're able to prevent something or to avoid disaster or danger. But I feel that it's really tying up your energy. It is creating a sense of diversion from the thing that I feel you love and are most passionate about. So this could be avoiding the thing that you want to do because you're afraid of failure, maybe even afraid of success. but there's something or someone here that you're attached to that is holding you back and preventing you from moving forward. So is there a subconscious pattern that's coming through, a trigger, a feeling that you are operating from that is preventing you from moving forward or coloring your decisions, that is maybe making you fear an outcome or a result, that maybe has you on edge or distracted, preventing you from going after what you want, avoiding the thing that you feel you need to let go of but can't, because it has become familiar, even though it is hindering you from that growth, from that progress, from you stepping into what you want to create, what you've dreamed of, what you love to do. And I think who I'm speaking to, you know who or what this is. And I feel it's being called to be released now. It is time. I feel like you've thought about this for a long time. And I feel it is now time to release and unattach yourself from that thing that is hindering you, that is keeping you stuck in fear, or having you make decisions from a place of fear. And going back to our opening message when we talked about zooming in and zooming out, we get to choose. Typically, the devil energy is a choice. Whether or not we are consciously aware of that, awareness is that first step. Once we become aware of whatever that pattern or that behavior or that person is, that is creating havoc or chaos or unhealthy attachments in our life, we're then able to make a choice to do something differently and let it go. It may not be quick or easy, but when we bring it into our awareness, we can then see when we are engaging with that, how we are engaging with that, and choose to engage differently or detach altogether. So awareness is first. The change of behavior or the pattern happens over time with that awareness and conscious choice to do so, the willingness to do so, and the willingness to feel discomfort in that process. It's not easy, but that's because it's familiar. But just because it's familiar does not mean that it is correct, does not mean that it is helpful for us or beneficial to our path ahead or our growth. So it's reminding ourselves as well in this process of releasing, of detaching from unhealthy things, that there will be moments of discomfort. There will be questioning and doubt as we break the conditioning. But if we're coming from a place of intention, of conscious awareness, and choice, and knowing that this release is needed and wanted by our soul, then that's how we know it's correct. We can't rely on our feelings in that moment because they are skewed by that conditioning or that unhealthy belief. So let's look at, what are you stepping into with this love? We have the Three of Pentacles. That's really lovely. And then we have the Nine of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So with this shift, you're not only moving into stronger collaborations, more aligned collaborations, growth. Threes are all about growth. Threes are about working together to create something, to build something for the future, for the long-term success. It is something solid. It is something of structure. It is something of security. It is networking. It is expansion of clients if you're in business. It is an expansion of who you're connected to, how you work with them, how you collaborate with them, what you learn in that process. working together for the love of the process, for the love of the mission or the purpose, for the love of the goal. And with the Nine of Swords in reverse, I feel like there's a lot of stresses and worries that you will be releasing in this process, because you are stepping forward and you are no longer telling yourself the story that you can't or you never will, and that you have to do everything alone. I think there's a lot of fear in that storyline. These cards are all about being on your own, not having support, and feeling the weight of that, the pressure of that, the stress of that. But you're stepping into something new here. Something that I feel will be joyful for you, will be aligned for you, and will be an experience that you've never felt before, you've never had before. So there's some surprises along the way, there's some synchronicities along the way, and there's a release of all the rumination that you felt before. I feel that is being released. But again, it doesn't just swoop in and happen. It is by choice. So remember that whenever you feel triggered, whenever you feel like there's something that has to be let go of, spend some time to maybe reflect on that, on why it's coming through in that way, why you feel it's necessary to let something go or to work through something, and what you would like to achieve on the other side of that. So in place of a certain experience or a feeling, what would you like to feel? What would you like to experience? If you could snap your fingers tomorrow and have it all figured out or worked out, what would you want to feel? By identifying that, it might give you a pathway or a compass to really working through this devil energy, these attachments, and you'll be able to bring it up to the surface so that you can honor it, to say, I appreciate you being here, but I no longer feel this way anymore. I'm looking for something different, and consciously choosing different. So when that becomes a trigger again in the future, you can remind yourself, I'm not playing small anymore, or I'm not making decisions out of fear. I'm going to make decisions from a place of love, from a place of growth, from a place of confidence within myself that I can achieve. And if you happen to make mistakes along the way, if you happen to fail, that is okay. The point is not perfection. The point is not success without failure. The point is moving towards what you love and continually showing up for that, having compassion for whatever mistakes you make along the way, knowing that they are your stepping stones, they are your lessons to take forward. Not an indication that you shouldn't move forward, not an indication that you can't. Have no fear, my dear collective, in releasing what is no longer serving you. And welcome in the beauty and the abundance that is waiting for you on the other side of that release. And I'm being asked to read the last part. When we reach an impasse, we may experience feelings of hopelessness, the ability to stay out of the story, zoom back, and see new pathways into and around a challenge will be of boundless use. If we allow this principle to work on us as we work on it, our imagination frees us from the web of personal and cultural stories engulfing us. Art has the power to snap us out of transfiction, open our minds to what's possible, and reconnect with the eternal energy that moves through all things. So this is what I have for you, my dear collective. I do hope that was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments. It was such a pleasure, and I wish you all the luck in your month ahead. Until we meet again, stay curious, and I'll see you soon.